What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 687 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo, because that's how we do these Sunday shows, though. What a win for the Philadelphia Eagles. A huge, big-time victory. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the Robert De Niro coming to M-Lot Tailgate extravaganza. We'll get into the Joel Embiid and 76ers and Paul George stuff. We have an awesome interview with the number one overall pick in this year's NLL draft and in last year's PLL draft. Or I should say this year's PLL draft as well, because it was the same year. Brennan O'Neill from Philadelphia Wings Media Day. Awesome sit down. Brennan is going to be a rock star here. We put a clip out because we have the interview on the Outside the Box podcast already. Clip is on our socials, so definitely go check that out. But interview going to be on this episode for you guys that are the underground listeners. And then I will also get into the Gold Glove snubs that happened to the Philadelphia Phillies. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials. That's on every platform: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, the whole 9 yards. We are on every platform. Give us a follow. We've gotten a bunch of new followers. Shout out to Lex and shout out to Mark Kramer. They are the true Underground Sports Philadelphia street team, always pumping us up, always promoting us. And we got a huge following uptick over the last 24 to 48 hours. Thank you to a certain Sixers story that we will get into for sure, for part of that being the reason. But thank you to Lex and Mark for really amplifying the show and getting us in front of more people, because that's what we're here to do. We're fans. We're bringing fan analysis, but with true appreciation for our teams and our players and everything in this city. So welcome to all of our new followers. This is Underground Sports Philadelphia. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the podcast feed on Apple, Spotify. We got a bunch of new followers. Would love to have you subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify. Leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow, helps us continue building this community, and lets us do more dope stuff with and for you guys. So keep subscribing, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel as well if you want to watch the show twice a week, every single week. It's youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are trying to get there before the end of 2024. We are currently at 866 subscribers as I'm recording this. Let's get to 1,000. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. And click the bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And of course, everyone, this show is presented by the city of Vineland, my hometown. They have been rocking with us now for over a year, and very thankful for them and hoping to continue our partnership, obviously. But the City of Vineland municipal calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors, It's a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're doing what we need them to do, and that's winning football games. They have now won 4 in a row, coming off the bye. It is brought to you by our pals over at FOCO. FOCO, the leaders in the forever collectible game. You guys have seen me wearing the overalls, the shortalls for the Phillies. Guess what? They've got them for the Eagles. They've also got velour tracksuits. They've also got the best bobbleheads in the game. Plus, they've got these badass neon lights that we're going to be putting up in our studio for the Eagles and the Phils. Plus, they've got officially licensed merchandise for all of your favorite sports teams from the NFL, the MLB, NHL, NBA, college football, college basketball, WWE, you name it, FOCO has you covered. Upgrade your fandom today by clicking our link in the description and check out everything that FOCO has to offer. It's FOCO.com. Click our link in the description so that you know FOCO, so FOCO knows you're coming from us, and upgrade your fandom today. And we thank FOCO for being proud partners of the pod. The Eagles get a big-time 28-23 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Link. Kelly Green Day, if you're watching on YouTube, I got this nice-looking vintage Jalen Hurts shirt and my Kelly Green 47 brand hat on. Shout out. Eagles get it done. Shady McCoy retirement game. We'll get into that as well. But the Eagles, they showcased on offense really well. They had a very rough third quarter. And they squeak by. That's the thing. All these headlines that have been coming out, the Eagles come back and survive. No, they never relinquished the lead. That's the thing. The Eagles never trailed in this game. They made it scary, for sure. I feel like they got a little complacent as the game went on. But you had some iconic plays in this game, some iconic photos from this game. And again, Jalen Hurts took care of the football, 18 of 24, 230 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. On the ground, Jalen Hurts also 13 carries, 67 yards, and a rushing touchdown. That was like almost 20 yards out. It was like an 18-yard rushing touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 27 carries, 159 yards on the ground, just 5.9 yards per carry, and a touchdown. Saquon also gave you 40 yards through the air on 3 catches and a receiving touchdown. DeVonta Smith, 4 catches for 87 yards and one of the most absurd, beautiful, disgusting touchdown catches I've ever seen. Just nasty. DeVonta was great in this game. Grant Calcaterra was awesome in this game. It was for 5 catches and 30 yards, but it felt like every catch he made was a big catch on that drive, if that makes sense. But yeah, the Eagles did what they had to do on offense. The offense was really not an issue today per se. They executed in the big spots. Saquon was dynamic. Jalen Hurts took care of the football. Moved the ball around. You know, he had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different players with a reception. 6 of them were for at least a yard, and 5 of them were for 30 or more yards. But there were obviously drawbacks in this game, and on the offensive side of the ball was a lot of decision-making, which is obviously Nick Sirianni's job. It was a lot of situational football that was a mistake in this game. A lot of aggression from the play calling standpoint. The Eagles in this game were 0 for 2 on 4th down, 9 of 17 on 3rd down, which is not ideal that you're getting in that many 3rd down situations either. The Jaguars went 3 of 10 on 3rd down, 1 of 2 on 4th, and the 4th down one was brutal. It was a 4th and 13. The Eagles win the turnover battle, though. Trevor Lawrence threw 2 interceptions. The Jaguars fumbled. Saquon had a phantom fumble that I'll get into in a little bit. But, I mean, genuinely, all in all, the Eagles outplayed the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game. Wake up, Kyle. Wake up. Wake up. The Eagles outplayed the Jaguars, hands down. 237 rushing yards, 210 passing yards. They more than doubled the Jaguars' total yardage in this game. Yards per play was almost 2 full yards per play and more. The Jaguars ran for 60 yards in this game. They are not a good football team, and the Eagles showcased that. And like I said, I feel like they got complacent as the game moved along. They took their foot off the gas pedal in a lot of ways defensively, where the tackles kind of just stopped, and they were almost just like trying to just buzz guys and knock them down rather than tackle them, which was kind of annoying. You don't want to see that become habitual. But the Eagles go up 16-0 at halftime, and then the Jaguars answer to get 16 of their own in the third quarter alone. The Eagles do answer with 6, but they miss a 2-point conversion. There was multiple 2-point conversion misses. One of them should have counted. The refs absolutely missed it, and the refs were terrible in this game. And then the Jaguars get a touchdown in the fourth quarter. The Eagles also get 6 points. But you did enough to win, and that's huge. You wanted to win this game, and like I've been saying it since it popped up on the schedule. I said, coming out of the bye, this section of games was going to tell us everything we needed to know about the Eagles. From the Browns to the Giants to the Bengals to the Jaguars, and the last one in that grouping was the Cowboys, because then your big test so far this season was going to be that Commanders game on Thursday Night Football. Short rest, coming off a road game, see how you perform. But we got one more in this, we'll know what this team is about. They're 6-2. That's fantastic. They have a plus 44 score differential this season. They're 3-1 at home, 3-1 on the road. And I mean, technically they're 4-1 on the road because one of those wins came in Brazil. They've won 4 in a row, which is the second longest in the NFC win streak and third longest overall. Tied for third longest overall with the Bills. Because obviously the Chiefs have won 7 in a row. The Lions have won 6 in a row. Yeah, I mean, sure, you're gonna nitpick in a game like this because it wasn't easy. It wasn't like the game against the Bengals where you kind of eventually had your way with them. It was a tough go. The scoring drives, Saquon catches that 20-yard pass from Jalen. Jake Elliott hits a 43-yard field goal. Saquon, 19-yard run on 3rd and 17, and you fail the 2-point conversion. Jalen Hurts, 18-yard run. You fail the 2-point conversion, which is the one I think that should have counted. Trevor Lawrence gets a 1-yard rushing touchdown. Trayvon Walker gets a 35-yard fumble return for a touchdown that should not have been a fumble because the refs completely made up a rule in the pool report, which is hilarious to me that they just can't admit that they're wrong. And I've tweeted about this so many times. I've posted about this so many times. I've probably even talked about it on this show a ton of times. The fact that referees are never held accountable, the fact that umpires are never held accountable, the fact that officials in general are never held accountable at the professional level, at the collegiate level, whatever, at any level really, is disgraceful. The fact that they just have to answer to a pool reporter, there's no repercussions, there's no consequences, is lunacy to me. Because if you showed up to your job and you did something wrong that cost your job money or cost, a coworker an opportunity or your company an opportunity, you're gone, or you're getting reprimanded for it. You're getting in trouble. You're facing consequences. Referees and officials and umpires never face consequences. It is so rare for that to happen. And the fact that it doesn't happen, because the number one reason why, everyone, if you're always wondering, and I know I complain about it, but I know the reason, None of these officials are full-time. They're not full-time employees. They are part-time. This is a side gig for them. They are not full-time NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA employees. They're basically independent contractors. And the fact that we don't have full-time officials and umpires and referees in major sports is crazy to me. It'll never happen because the leagues don't want to have to bend over backwards for even more employees, which is cheap to me. Your multi-billion-dollar entities, just do it, and you won't face this kind of stuff. You will have constant training for your officials. You will have repercussions for officials that don't perform well. You will have officials get demoted. I just don't understand how at the professional level we still have so many things going wrong, and this isn't even just for the ones on the field. The fact that the Saquon fumble was reviewed, the fact that the Jalen Hurts 2-point conversion was reviewed, and nothing was changed when there was clear evidence on both occasions. Now, granted, should I be happy that the Eagles won? Absolutely, and I am. But the fact that those things happened, it changed the dynamic of the game as it went along. Saquon ruled down by contact. You're taking a touchdown off the board for the Jaguars. Who knows what that drive turns into for the Eagles? The 2-point conversion, you're adding more points for the Eagles there. So at the end, the Jaguars are going to have to go for a touchdown to tie it and not win. There's a lot that comes from that. Like, there's a lot of things that could have gone wrong because of those missed calls by the officials on the field and then by the replay review system people in New York. So they should be reprimanded. They should, have to face a fine, a suspension, whatever it may be. And it's crazy that players can't say anything about the referees or the umpires or officials without facing their own sort of repercussion. It's like they are these holier-than-thou people, and they can just get away with anything. They walk on water in professional sports. It's crazy. It is genuinely insane to me, and I understand it's a hard job to do. It's human error, but guess what? We have so much technology that could have changed 2 of the plays in this game that really flipped momentum in a lot of ways for both teams. You have to be better as officials. You have to be better if you are the replay review people in New York. If you're, whatever it may be, they just have to be better. They just have to be. So yeah, that fumble was horrendous. The 2-point conversion not getting overturned to count was horrendous. DeVonta Smith's 25-yard touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts was insane. And another huge pass before that was also insane. DeVonta was awesome in this game. So he catches that 25-yarder, 2-point conversion, fails. And then Trevor Lawrence, a 4-yard run up the middle, kind of went in untouched. And then at the end, Trevor Lawrence throws the walk-off interception to Nakobe Dean. Keep Nakobe Dean's name out your mouth. Nakobe is a dog. And the fact that people have slandered him and have talked shit about Nakobe Dean not being a good player and overrated and can't play at the end is crazy. The talk around Nakobe Dean and the crazy things in people's mouths about Nakobe Dean is nuts. And he has earned every second of play time. He's been fantastic. The linebacker unit has been fantastic for this team this year. It's great. Nakobe's playing awesome, and he earned that interception. He deserves it, and his press conference after the game was fantastic. And if you missed it, go watch it because Nakobe is awesome. Eagles win. It's a needed win because the Washington Commanders won. The Cowboys lost, so you distance yourself a little bit more there, and it's really becoming a 2-team race in the NFC East. But this game had so many iconic plays, from Devontae's catch in the end zone, which was just absurd body control, getting both feet down, caught it basically one-handed, to Jahan Dotson's catch. What we said on this show on Wednesday, myself and Harrison, And if you missed it, yes, Harrison's back, baby. Wednesdays with Harry the K on Underground Sports Philadelphia. We said if there was ever a game Jahan Dotson was going to have a moment, it was this game. And look at what he does. He goes out and makes one of the most ridiculous catches I've ever seen. He tweeted after the game, "Fly Eagles Fly," with the video of the catch. It was an awesome catch. What a play. You have Nakobe's interception, which was just fantastic. The way he reached for that thing was just like spectacular. He looked like Mr. Fantastic. And then the play of the game. The play of the game. Saquon Barkley. Hurdling a grown man backwards. That photo defies so much logic and just the space-time continuum. Because every photo you look at, if you look at it initially, it looks like Saquon is hurdling him forward. But if you saw the play, you saw the video, Saquon literally hurdles the man backwards. It is truly one of the most unique. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. That was truly a video game type play from Saquon Barkley. Shout out to Dewani. She already got the sketch up, going vintage. Go check that thing out because she is the GOAT. And it is a play that I have not been able to stop watching the highlight of. I don't know if I will ever be able to stop watching the highlight of it. It was just spectacular. And we are so fortunate and so lucky that that dumbass organization that tries to claim New York, but they actually play in New Jersey. And I will remind everyone always that the New York Giants and the New York Jets play and call New Jersey home because I pay taxes on their dumbass dumpster fire stadium. That they just let Saquon Barkley come to the Eagles. It's just it warms my heart every single time. Every single time I see Saquon in an Eagles uniform, it just warms my heart. Because Giants fans are absolute morons and thought that the Eagles fucked up by signing Saquon Barkley. What are we talking about? And Saquon to do all of this on LaShawn McCoy's retirement or, Hall of Fame induction night to the Eagles Hall of Fame. Come on now. You knew he was going to go off. And I mean, you want to talk about shady, like an all-time Eagle, all-time leading rusher in Eagles franchise history. I think, it sucks that Shady never won a Super Bowl ring with the Eagles. He won 2 Super Bowl rings in his career. I genuinely think LaShawn McCoy is a Hall of Famer. He is dynamic. He was truly like a face of an era of Eagles football that underachieved for sure, and there's obviously a lot of circumstances to that. But I think it shows you how much LaShawn McCoy has meant to this organization when he goes and does everything that he does. And then Chip Kelly's dumbass trades him to Buffalo. And he's still the Eagles' all-time leading rusher after over a decade. And I think you see the respect and the love and the admiration the Eagles organization has for LaShawn McCoy, not only from today, but since he's left, nobody's worn number 25. It's kind of soft launch retired. It's one of those numbers that nobody touches, nobody thinks about touching it. It's interesting. There's a couple of those numbers. It's 25, it's 9. For a while it was number 10. There's a few of those numbers that they're not retired, but they kind of are. It's one of those things you don't really touch them. And I think that shows you what LaShawn McCoy means to the Philadelphia Eagles organization as a player, as a person, and in just the historical timeline of what Philadelphia Eagles football is. You can't tell the story of the Philadelphia Eagles without the chapter of LeSean McCoy. And I think Shady McCoy is such a good ambassador for this Eagles football team. He is so genuine. He still cares so much about this city, so much about this team, this organization. And you saw it, if you saw the clips rolling around social media of him giving his speech at halftime, talking about, I played for a few different organizations. There's no fans like Eagles fans. Shady genuinely loves Philadelphia. He never wanted to leave. And I love that even though he was traded away, he recognized it wasn't the organization that did it. It was Chip Kelly that did it. And he still has so much love for Philadelphia, has so much love for the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's a cool thing, because Shady could have gotten traded and it would have been one of those things where he just has a cold shoulder towards the organization forever and never comes back, never does anything with the team, never gets inducted into the Hall of Fame for the Eagles. And I think it is really special that, no matter what happened during his time here, Shady McCoy is always going to be that dude. He's going to be an Eagles legend forever. And they don't just induct anybody into the Eagles Hall of Fame. You have to do some special stuff to be a part of that club. And I genuinely think Shady McCoy has done far more than enough to be in that club. And it was really cool to see him get his flowers, get his love in front of Eagles Nation again tonight. And couldn't be happier for Shady. He's the man. And I've been a fan of his since the Eagles drafted him way back when. And for him to kind of have that full circle moment and get the love he deserves, one last time in front of Eagles fans at the Link was really, really cool. So congratulations to Shady McCoy, the true Shady McCoy. He is a special, special player, and I think he has cemented himself truly, and tonight fortifies it, but for a long time now, he has cemented himself as an all-time Eagle. So congrats to Shady. And congrats to the Eagles on the win. I'm happy about this win. And if anybody thought the Eagles were going to lose this game, you're crazy. The Shady McCoy game, on top of it being the Robert De Niro Welcome to M-Lot game. Before I get into that, I want to talk to you guys about our friends over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's the perfect beer for tailgating. Kenwood Beer is the go-to beer of Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, only 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Maryland, New Jersey, and Delaware areas. You can also get it at your local liquor stores in those markets. Also, check out the Kenny storefront, see all the awesome merchandise they have available as well. That's kenwoodbeer.com, and use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in your area. Must be 21 or older to do so. And of course, guys, as always, please drink responsibly. Robert De Niro pulled up to M-Lot, and seeing this all unfold on social media today and seeing everything on TV, on massive social accounts, from the official NFL account to the Philadelphia Eagles account to Sunday Night Football to everywhere, it was going nuclear viral. And at the helm of it was our guy, truly, and I said at the top of the show, he's genuinely like Underground Sports Philadelphia street team OG, Mark Kramer, posting photos of Robert De Niro with the one and only Philaticus, Dylan, doing his thing in M-Lot, the maestro of M-Lot. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Robert De Niro rolls up. Like, what a perfect thing on Kelly Green Day, no less. An icon. A star of Silver Linings Playbook. a genuine Hollywood legend, Robert De Niro, rolling up to M-Lot and shakes hands with the Maestro and is all over the place. Shout out to my boy Ed, was back there like a security detail, looking swole as hell. My boy. Unbelievable scenes. Unbelievable. Robert De Niro in M-Lot. The legend of M-Lot continues to grow. One day I will get out there, and I told this to Dylan. I said, he wished me a happy birthday. Thank you again. Also, thank you to everybody for the birthday wish. I'll get into that later. But he wished me a happy birthday, and I said, one day I'm going to make it out to the M-Lot, and I'm going to just enjoy your cuisines. I was blown away, and my boy Mark was going nuclear viral on every social platform, everywhere. He was on Red Zone. The tweets were going crazy. They were sharing his photos everywhere. I mean, it was the NFL, the Sunday Night Football account, the official Eagles account, Part of My Take, Underground Sports Philadelphia. He was everywhere. My boy Mark, man. What a time. And, Dewani was there, the legend herself. Everyone that was, in that area, I either know of or, have heard of. And it was cool to kind of just see that all transpire. And, it was a wild time. De Niro's there with John Kerry. Just a crazy, awesome moment for some of the coolest people in Philly sports fandom. Blown away. I was texting with Mark today. He was like, I can't believe, what the hell was today. I can't even imagine what his phone battery feels like. Just unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. Robert De Niro pulled up to M-Lot. What a day for Eagles fan, and what a day for M-Lot. The legend of M-Lot continues. Just a unbelievable day. The Eagles were never losing the Robert De Niro Shady McCoy Hall of Fame game. The Robert De Niro Shady McCoy Hall of Fame Kelly Green Jersey Day game. The Robert De Niro and M-Lot Shady McCoy Hall of Fame game Kelly Green Day game, Doug Peterson coming back to Philadelphia for a second time game. It just had all the makings for just story, and it was unbelievable. So shout out to the M-Lot crew doing their thing, having Robert De Niro pull up. I was told that tailgating was not iconic. Pretty sure Robert De Niro pulling up to the M-Lot tailgate is pretty iconic, don't you know? Don't you know? What a moment. Shout out to everybody that was down in M-Lot. That had to have been one of the coolest moments ever. That's just so sick. So sick. Last bit on this game before we go around the NFL. A.J. Brown leaves with a knee injury. Hopefully he's okay. From everything I've been seeing, it doesn't seem like it's too serious, and it was one of those things. It's like, hey, let's play it safe rather than be sorry about it, and have you ready to go for Dallas, have you ready to go on a short week against Washington the week after. Hopefully everything is okay with AJ. It was a bummer to see him go down because towards the end of the game, it was one of those things I wish AJ would have been in because I know Jalen would have found him for a dot down the field. But hopefully AJ's okay. That feels like that was really that. And Fred Johnson got injured. I don't remember if he came back or not, but hopefully the injuries are limited. AJ will be okay. Fred Johnson will be okay. And, Jordan Mailata should be on the mend soon, which is huge for this team too. The Eagles have done all of this 4-game win streak without Jordan Mailata really being around. He's been out, and to have that going for you is a positive so that when he comes back, you're going to have an even more bolstered offensive line on Jalen's blind side, no less. And Jalen's been doing all of this without his franchise left tackle. Jalen Hurts has been unbelievable during this win streak. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards. Like, I gotta find it because it was absolutely crazy stats. PFF tweeted it. I don't know if it was 1,000 yards. I think it might have been 500 yards. Jalen Hurts during this winning streak has genuinely been like elite. And not saying that Jalen's never been elite, but Jalen has been elite during this stretch of games. Where did they post this? Here we go. Jalen Hurts on... Okay, so here it is. Jalen Hurts on 10-plus yard throws during the Eagles' 4-game winning streak, which everyone said Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball down the field. He can't throw in the middle of the field. He can't launch the ball deep. I call bull because during this 4-game winning streak, according to PFF, Jalen Hurts is 20 of 29 throwing the ball 10-plus yards, has 500 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Is that good? Is that good, chat? Let me know in the comment section if that's good, because I think that's pretty damn good if you ask me. Jalen Hurts has been exceptional during this stretch, and it's been without his franchise left tackle. All the Jalen Hurts doubters, all the Jalen Hurts non-believers, how you doing? Absolute clowns. I love it. The Eagles are 6-2, and they're flying high. They're playing good football. You know, it's some things, semantics in this game that at the end of the day, the Eagles won. And is it frustrating how they got there? Sure. Were some of the 2-point conversion calls not necessarily necessary? Sure. The first 2, I had no issues with them going for 2. And honestly, across the board, I had no issue with them going for 2 in this game as much as they did. It's just like we wouldn't have complained if they made it. That's the funny part. It's like nobody would be batting an eye if the Eagles converted those 2-point conversions. Granted, they should have had one of them, but the ref fucked up. But nobody would be batting an eye. But because they didn't convert them, that's where the issue comes through. Now, it is strange this season that the Eagles have kind of like rejected using one of the best field goal kickers and kickers in general in the NFL in Jake Elliott and have put him in obscure situations where it's like these long-ass field goal attempts and he misses. So I want to know why Jake Elliott's in the doghouse for some apparent reason, at least to the public eye. But nonetheless, you know, the Eagles get a W. They're 6-2. They're a half game behind the Commanders. Commanders win today against the Giants. The Giants do us no favors. So, I mean, look, you can be mad at Nick Sirianni. You can judge the play calling. You can judge the, you know, not just taking the points and all that, not kicking a field goal at certain points. At the end of the day, the Eagles won. You wouldn't be bitching and complaining if the Eagles converted those 2-point conversions. And in most of, if not all of them, if I'm remembering correctly, it just made sense for them to go for 2. Like, it was gutsy for them to go for 2 the first time. The second time I understood it because, you know, hey, you missed the one. Let's try to recoup the points and kind of go up a little bit more. And then the last one, you were trying to go up by a legitimate 2 touchdowns. It's just the play calls were trash on most of them. And in some of the situations on 4th down and long 3rd downs and things of that nature, like some of the play calling was bad in a lot of situational stuff today. I don't know if that's Kellen Moore. I don't know if that's Nick Sirianni. At the end of the day, who the fuck cares? The Eagles won. This game is over. Throw it away. You take away the positives. You move on and learn from the negatives. And it's Dallas week. Okay? That's at the end of the day, that's what it is. You learn from this game, you take away the positives, you learn from the negatives, and you move on to your next opponent. And there's a whole hell of a lot of positives to take away from this game, from Nakobe Dean's play to Josh Sweat having a fantastic game defensively. Cooper DeJean was great again. Quinyon Mitchell is stop the count on Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's Quinyon Mitchell. It's Quinyon Mitchell. It's Quinyon Mitchell. It's Quinyon Mitchell. Reed Blankenship was good in this game. C.J. Gardner-Johnson should have had 2 interceptions in this game. Zach Bond was fantastic again. Signed that man to an extension yesterday. Jalen Carter was phenomenal in this game. I thought Milton Williams was pretty solid in this game as well. Isaiah Rodgers had some bumps in the road, but his first start in 800 days in his career. The defense was solid. They had a lot of great moments in this game, and that's the things you take away as positives as a fan. You take away the positive. You take away DeVonta Smith's touchdown and that long 46-yard catch. You take away that this was the Saquon Barkley just unbelievable Kelly Green game. Jalen Hurts was fantastic again and didn't turn the ball over. There's so much more positive that outweighs missing 3 2-point conversions and some questionable, third and fourth down calls. Every game is different. This shouldn't linger. It's okay to criticize this game and realize that this was the first bad game that Sirianni's had in 3 weeks as a head coach in the situational game management. The Giants game, he was awesome. The Bengals game, he was awesome. He can be bad in this game while still being awesome in those games. Okay? It's one of those things that you don't clump things together just to create an argument to make it sound like you're smarter than you actually are. That's not how things go. Sirianni was perfectly fine the last 2 weeks. This was his first game that had some hiccups, and the Eagles overcame the hiccups. They overcame the refs, and they got a W. And at the end of the day, we're going to be celebrating Victory Monday, and that's what matters. Cracking open a nice cold Kenwood beer, do the damn thing. And now we gear up for Dallas week. You should feel good. We're 6-2, feeling good. There's so much positive to take away from this game. This team is winning as a team. It's a good feeling, guys. It's a good feeling. I feel good about where this team is right now. I might be in the minority, but I feel good about where this team is right now. You should feel good about where this team is right now. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we're going to go around the NFL, and it's brought to you by Paramount Plus. The Eagles were on Paramount Plus today, as were a whole bunch of other teams, and the Eagles are going to be on Paramount Plus next week when we go to Dallas because it's a CBS Cowboys game. Who would have thunk it? Paramount Plus is genuinely the best bang for your buck streaming platform in the business. You can stream live sports like the NFL, like Premier League Soccer. It's all on Paramount Plus, plus their back catalog of all the 90s nostalgia, new seasons of amazing shows like Ink Master. Who doesn't love Ink Master? Ink Master is one of the coolest shows out there. Plus, a whole bunch of other shows like the NCIS Origins. Every season of Survivor is on Paramount Plus. Genuinely, best bang for your buck. Stream the NFL all season long on Paramount Plus. Do it for free. Click the link in our description and stream the NFL all season long on Paramount Plus, or sign up for Paramount Plus. Use our link to get started with your subscription to Paramount Plus. And thank you to Paramount Plus for sponsoring the pod and allowing us to be a Paramount pod. Let's go around the NFL, ladies and gents, because, the Eagles win today, and there's a lot of teams that are feeling a whole hell of a lot worse about themselves after today than you should as Eagles fans, and then the Eagles should feel perfectly fine after today's performance. So on Thursday, the Jets beat the Texans 21-13. The Texans should feel like shit. The Texans are the most overrated darling team in the NFL this year, in my opinion. That's another argument for another day. But Jets beat the Texans on Thursday Night Football. The Panthers beat the Saints. Remember when the Saints were crowned Super Bowl champions after 2 weeks? The Saints have fallen off a cliff since they've played the Philadelphia Eagles. The Panthers win 23-22 against the New Orleans Saints. Huge win for the Panthers. The Commanders sneak by the Giants 27-22. The Bills, on the leg of Tyler Bass, don't cover, but they win 30-27 against the Miami Dolphins at home. The Chargers just electrocute the Cleveland Browns 27-10. The Titans break the Lions' hangover curse. They beat the Patriots 20-17 in overtime. The Falcons beat the Cowboys 27-21. The Bengals steamroll the Raiders 41-24. The Ravens decimate the Denver Broncos 41-10. The Cardinals roll over the Bears 29-9. Our Eagles get a W 28-23 over the Jags. The Rams in overtime take down the Seahawks 26-20. The Lions roll the Packers at Lambeau 24-14. The Vikings 21-13 on Sunday Night Football win against the Colts. And then Monday Night Football is Chiefs-Bucks at Arrowhead. Go Chiefs in that game for the sake of the Eagles. And that's your scores around the NFL brought to you by Paramount Plus. I do want to touch on one thing that I saw today. Amazing. I want to pull up his Twitter handle because this dude was the fan of the day. David Bodine, apologies for any mispronunciation there, at Bodine, Bodine, Bodine 3. Apparently, I'm making the rounds on this app. Apparently, I'm making the rounds on this app in case anyone is wondering who the @Lions fan is in the cheese grater. He had a cheese grater head. That is elite level trolling, shit talking, unbelievable work. Fan of the day. That might have to be a segment we start on this show. The fan of the day. That is just unbelievable work. A cheese grater head is next level for Packers Lions. Just craziness. And that is a hell of a win for the Lions. And I wonder who the Packers play next. Even though the curse was broken this week, I wonder who they get next. Oh, they're so lucky they get their bye. The Packers are on a bye. Who do they play out of the bye? The Bears. Oh, the Lions' hangover curse may be broken. Who do the Lions play next week? The Texans. Oh, the Lions are going to destroy them. But yeah, unbelievable shit talking there from Mr. Bodine. Looking at the standings in the NFL, AFC wise, the Bills are running away with the AFC East. They're 7-2. The Jets are 3-6. The Dolphins are 2-6. The Patriots are 2-7. Chiefs are 7-0, yet to play. Chargers 5-3. Broncos 5-4. Raiders 2-7. Steelers are 6-2. I believe they're on their bye. Ravens 6-3, so they bounce back this week, and they're a half game back of the Steelers. Bengals 4-5. Browns 2-7. Texans are 6-3. Colts are 4-5. Titans are 2-6. Jaguars are 2-7. And then in the NFC, it's the Commanders 7-2, Eagles 6-2, Cowboys 3-5, Giants 2-7. Then in the NFC West, the Cardinals 5-4, the Rams 4-4, the 49ers 4-4, who are on a bye, the Seahawks 4-5. And then in the NFC North, the Lions are 7-1, the Vikings are 6-2, the Packers are 6-3, and the Bears fell to 4-4. And then in the NFC South, it's the Falcons at 6-3, the Bucks at 4-4, the Panthers at 2-7, and the Saints at 2-7. Panthers have to have the worst points against, right? 293. Yeah, it's looking that way. It's looking that way. 293. Good grief. I mean, Jaguars not too far behind with 252. But the Eagles have surrendered the fourth fewest points in the NFC so far this season. Only teams to surrender fewer are the Lions, Bears, who have surrendered 148, and the Vikings, 150. Eagles, 155. Granted, they haven't scored 200 points yet. They're 1 point off. If they would have gotten one of those, if the 2-point conversion gets called correctly, the Eagles are in the 200-point club. But the Eagles' score differential looking pretty nice. 199 points for, 155 points against, in the top 5 and fewest points allowed in the NFC this season. And wow, the Chargers have only allowed 101. Interesting. Chiefs have only allowed 123. They still have a game to play, though. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are in the Steelers 119. The Eagles are in like the top 5, top 8 in the NFL. Top 10, top 8, something like that. I'll have to do the true math there, but 155 is pretty damn good for the Birds. Let me know how you're feeling about this Eagles game. And, guys, each and every week we post about it, and we haven't gotten any lately. I would love to have some. Leave us a voicemail. Our voicemail line is open 24/7, 365. You leave me a voicemail, I get a notification in my email. You're going to get featured on the show. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. That is where you go to leave us a voicemail. Let me know how you're feeling about the Eagles, the Sixers, Joel Embiid, this whole situation that I'm about to get into, the Phillies, the Flyers, the Wings, the Water Dogs, Robert De Niro, whatever it may be. I want to hear from you guys. Leave me a voicemail, speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's linked in the description as well. It's free to do. It's open all the time. Let me hear from you. Hit my line. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now, let's get into this Joel Embiid and Sixers situation. It's brought to you by our friends over at 47 Brand. You guys, if you're watching me on YouTube right now, I got a brand new 47 Brand Eagles hat that I found while I was out and about shopping the other day. 47 Brand is genuinely the best brand for hats and apparel for your favorite sports fans. Truly, I've been a 47 Brand fan since before they got on board as a partner, and they have the most comfortable hats in the game, the most stylish hats. I'm rocking the Roscoe Hitch style, which is the rope hat version of the Hitch. The Hitch hat's my favorite. They've got the best hats in the game. Truly, and their clothing has like that vintage feel and style to it that you are going to enjoy, and it's the best place to shop for your favorite sports fan. Click our link in the description and get free shipping on all orders when you shop with our pals at 47 Brand. Use our link, get free shipping on all orders when you use our link from our friends at 47 Brand. Again, use our link. It's linked in the description. And get free shipping. Free shipping on all orders for your favorite sports fan from our friends at 47 Brand. So our social media bump happened. It's mostly on Twitter. A lot today on Instagram too. Because of this whole Joel Embiid situation with the Sixers. I started the concept of Underground Sports Philadelphia in my head and brought it to life with Dylan, Matt, and Dom back in 2018. Obviously, Tyler on board as well as our OG producer. To stray from the path of the traditional journalist, the traditional media approach. We have so many people covering teams in this city who attempt to not be fans of the team that they're covering. You know, you go to school for journalism and you learn. You got to remove your fandom and everything because you never know where you're going to wind up. You're never always going to be covering your favorite team. And I genuinely, when we started Underground, I said, fuck that concept. That's not what fans want. Fans want to hear from other fans. They want true discussion about their teams. It doesn't have to be from people that are in the locker room all the time. Now, granted, I am very fortunate that I am in press conferences and have media access to 3 of our teams here in Philadelphia, okay? Like, we are super thankful and fortunate for that. But not everything needs to be suit and tie, buttoned up journalism. A lot of people want to hear from people that are dressed like me right now, wearing a 47 brand hat and a graphic tee, talking about their favorite sports teams. But if there's one thing that I've learned, and I think a lot of people have learned, if you're getting into sports media, and just media in general, there's a couple guidelines you don't cross. You don't drag family into conversations, and you don't chalk that up to poor performance or anything like that. And somebody I've had an issue with for a long time because he genuinely just conjures up think pieces that he passes as columns at the Philadelphia Inquirer and doesn't think that there's going to be repercussions for it, very similar to major sports referees. A lot of journalists and a lot of writers in cities feel that they have this fortified, just justified right to be in a locker room and to be in a press conference. You lose sight of yourself sometimes. Some of these stuck-up journalists covering teams think they just have every right to be in a locker room and say whatever they want without there being consequence. And I've said this on shows before. It is a privilege for any media member to be in a clubhouse, a locker room, a press conference, to have media access. That is a privilege granted to you from that organization. It's not a right. It is a privilege to have that access. And that is how I approach any media access I get. It is a privilege to be in that room. It's a privilege to have that access. Marcus Hayes, and this will be the only time I utter that absolute buffoon's name on this show, because I despise him that much, is an absolute ass clown. To write what he wrote, and I don't even want to repeat it, but essentially, Marcus Hayes was using Joel Embiid's young son and deceased brother as a way to describe and get across a point that Joel's legacy that he wants to leave, that Joel has talked about, is being tarnished because he's not playing games in October of the regular season, when all we've done, and by we, I mean there's a certain faction of fans and media members and the like who clown on Joel Embiid for not being healthy in the postseason, for being not conditioned in the postseason because he's coming off of injury. When have we ever given a flying fuck about October basketball? Anyone? I put the clip out this is much more on the Sixers organization than it is on Joel Embiid. And so Joel has media availability for the first time this season on Friday. And I'll plug it in here.
When was it decided between the Olympics and today that you would be taking this approach and missing these games to start the season?
It was never decided. Like I said, everybody has been on the same page. If your body doesn't react well, and if your body tells you one thing, and I've done it. From what I can tell you, I've broken my face twice. I came back early with the risk of losing my vision. Had broken fingers. I still came back. So I'm not gonna sit here and be when I see people saying he doesn't want to play. I've been way too much. I've done way too much, for this city, and putting myself at risk, for people to be saying that. So I do think it's bullshit. Like that dude, he's not here. Marcus, whatever his name is. I've done way too much for this fucking city to be treated like this. So done way too fucking much. But like I said, I wish I was as lucky as other ones, but that doesn't mean that I'm not trying and I'm not doing whatever it takes to be out there, which I'm gonna be here pretty soon.
In the last couple weeks when you have been maybe more limited in practice.
And he absolutely eviscerates Marcus Hayes. And Joel Embiid, in everything he said, was 110% correct. He had every right to voice his frustrations, had every right to call out Marcus Hayes and his cowardice-ass self couldn't even show up and face the music. Oh, wait, that's not the first time Marcus Hayes hasn't shown up after writing one of these bullshit columns and slandering an athlete's name in this city and trying to run them out of town and trying to turn the fan base against them because you have these boomers who read Marcus Hayes because he's in the Inquirer and think it's gospel. And then at the game on Saturday, there's a verbal confrontation between Marcus Hayes and Joel Embiid. And Joel Embiid allegedly shoves Marcus Hayes, which is then found to be false. And it was a kind of bumped in the shoulder type situation. And now there's an investigation ongoing. And apparently, Josh Harris, no, it wasn't Josh Harris because he's probably too worried about the Washington Commanders. My apologies there. Apparently, Daryl Morey and Elton Brand apologized to Marcus Hayes? What the fuck are we doing? If you had any brain cells, number one, Daryl Morey should be the one that's out in front in the media giving everyone the information on why Joel hasn't been playing. You shouldn't be leaving that up to Nick Nurse. You shouldn't be leaving that up to Joel Embiid and everyone trying to just put the dots together like we're fucking Pepe Sylvia at the board. Daryl Morey, you are the president of basketball operations. That you should be talking to the media about this. And you're not. Elton Brand, at least. Put Elton in front of the media to do your bidding there. And let Elton relay the information. But no, you're going to apologize to the guy who slandered the name of family members of your franchise player. Got it. Like I've said, the Sixers organization does not give a fuck about you as a fan. And right now, they clearly don't give a fuck about the feelings of Joel Embiid. which is pretty damn sad. Joel had every right to do that. And I think if you put yourself in Joel Embiid's shoes where you have somebody talking poorly on your family's name, one of whom is deceased, to try to slander your name, you probably have a worse reaction than what Joel Embiid did. Marcus Hayes got lucky. That's all Joel Embiid did. We all know Joel Embiid is the biggest family man possible. And a lot of that stems from the unfortunate passing of his brother. Family means a lot to Joel Embiid. And for Marcus Hayes to just think he could go out and talk about Joel Embiid's family like that to slander his name is disgusting. He's a piece of shit. It's not the first time he's done this. This has been an ongoing thing with Marcus Hayes for years. If the Inquirer had any self-reflection and any thought into all of this, Marcus Hayes would not be working at the Philadelphia Inquirer. He's the worst. He sucks. He will never be on this show, I'll tell you that much. Not that I ever had any intention of Marcus Hayes ever being on this show. He fucking sucks. And if you ever see ink-stained wretch attached to an article, that is your first keynote sign to not click that. Because it's going to be utter bullshit. I have no problem with what Joel Embiid did. We have too many people that feel confident in today's day and age that they can get away with doing shit and not facing consequences. It's called fuck around and find out. And I haven't even talked about what Jason Kelce went through this weekend at Penn State. But it happened in the same day. And Philly sports athletes showing you that if you fuck around, you're going to find out. Too many people think that real life you can still be a keyboard warrior and face no consequence. There's so many people who got so comfortable over the last few years of just sitting behind a computer screen and saying whatever the fuck they wanted. And then they go out in real life and realize there's no computer screen there. And somehow this has been a decades-long thing with Marcus Hayes. He sucks. He's the worst. And he should be counting his lucky stars that all Joel Embiid did was allegedly bump him with his shoulder and give him a harsh talking to. Because I'll tell you what, if that was me, it would have been a lot worse. Would have been a lot worse. Been a lot more harsh words. Not cool. Like, to use someone's family like that to in a piece where you did, like, you remove that and you can talk your point. You want to be frustrated he's not playing? Sure, whatever. There's no need to bring someone's family into it. It's disgraceful. It's despicable. It's deplorable. And Marcus A should be fucking ashamed of himself, but he has no shame. Positive news about the Sixers. It broke during the Eagles game. Security 21 security system with breaking news. Paul George, Monday return. As you guys are listening to this, the Sixers play the Phoenix Suns on Monday night out on the West Coast in Phoenix. Paul George will be making his long-awaited 76ers regular season debut, baby. Podcast P. I'm excited. I'm excited for Paul George to be back. I think it's going to help this team a lot. They're going to look quite different with another star in the mix who's going to change the dynamic of some of the guys on the floor rotation-wise. It's going to be good to have Paul George out there. I'm excited to see Paul George and Tyrese Maxey play together. It's a good sign. And Joel Embiid is on the mend and is looking to be back sooner rather than later as well, but Paul George is going to make his debut on Monday night against the Phoenix Suns, which is very exciting. But yeah, fuck Marcus Hayes. And we've never really done this on this show. We have one person on OTB that is banned. Why not? We'll leave it up to the people. We'll put a poll out and see if that fraud should be banned from this show. I already know the answer. I just want to see what you guys think. Entertain us, if you will. But yeah, it's fuck Marcus Hayes always. He's a piece of shit. He's been getting away with this bullshit for way too long, and I'm glad somebody, and I'm glad it was Joel Embiid, finally spoke out against him and stood on business and did something about it, because he just continues to get away with bullshit, and he's probably going to continue to get away with bullshit, and it sucks. But I'm glad that somebody kind of stuck it to him and made him realize you can't always get away with this shit. Sometimes there's going to be consequence. So shout out to Joel Embiid. We stand with Joel Embiid on this show. Support your independent media outlets, too, like Underground Sports Philadelphia. Subscribe to the pod. We have a great interview for you guys. Philadelphia Wings #1 overall pick in this year's NLL draft and in this year's PLL draft as well. He is just the 4th player to ever go #1 overall in both field and box lacrosse drafts in the history of the sport. And that is Brennan O'Neill. Guys, when I tell you he is a blue-chip player, he is a blue-chip player. Brennan O'Neill, I describe him as the Bryce Harper of lacrosse. He has been a prodigy since he was a teenager, was on the front cover of USA Lacrosse magazine, was playing on Team USA as a junior in college while the rest of the team that won the World Championship were all professionals, and now he's getting his hand into the box game as the #1 overall pick in the NLL this year. I got to sit down with Brennan O'Neill at Philadelphia Wings Media Day a couple weeks ago, and Brennan is a delight. I got to see him again this past weekend at training camp, and I'm excited to continue growing my relationship with Brennan, our relationship with the pod with Brennan, and you guys are really going to enjoy him a lot. He is a joy and a delight. But before we get into our interview, be sure to get your Underground Sports Philadelphia merch from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Black Friday is right around the corner, guys. No better way to gear up for your favorite Philly sports fan than with PHI Apparel Company. With their unique designs for all, there is no doubt in our mind you will stand out in the crowd. Support the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers, the Sixers, the Union, and Underground Sports Philadelphia. Get your Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merch at phiapparel.co or click the link in the description under our merch tab. And when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order. That's code UNDERGROUND at phiapparel.co to get 10% off your next merch order. And now, without any further ado, here's Brennan O'Neill. All right, everybody, welcome to a special presentation here from Underground Sports Philadelphia and the Outside the Box podcast. We're here at Philadelphia Wings Media Day and joined by the #1 overall pick in this year's NLL draft, Brennan O'Neill. Brennan, first off, welcome to Philly, man. Happy to have you here. And, when I saw your name get called during the draft, I was like, we got a blue-chip guy coming into an organization filled with them. So I know the fans are stoked to have you here, and I personally am stoked to have you here. So welcome to Philly, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's been great so far, so I'm excited to get after it.
Just take me through the process of what it's been like, the whirlwind, obviously this summer going #1 overall in the PLL draft and now #1 overall in the NLL draft, and just kind of, taking that all in and kind of just enjoying that moment of what it's been like so far for your professional career?
Yeah, it all hits you really fast, 1 second you're in college and you're playing for your school, and then all of a sudden you're drafted and playing in the professional leagues. And after the season, my first season, I was able to sit back and just kind of take it all in and just, just come back to reality a little bit. And but then I got drafted to the Wings, and it's all back to the same thing. Like now I'm just, rushing around everywhere, just kind of trying to find my way. But I know I'll get comfortable soon enough, and it'll all settle in.
What have the conversations been like with Coach and with Paul Day during, the draft process and getting you here to Philly? What was that process like, and how excited are you to play for Coach Rubel?
Yeah, they seem great. I've talked to them multiple times on phone calls, and it just comes down to they asked if I wanted to play, and yeah, I said yeah. This has been a dream of mine. Like I've always wanted to play in this league. I've went to multiple box games, so just expressing to them that I really wanted to play the box lacrosse game, and I think they understood that too. And we just trying to get to know each other, because not everything's on the field. You also have to get to know each other off the field too. So they seem like really great people, and that's all I really care about, is playing for good people who have their best interest in me, and I'm going to do my best for them too. So.
And I know on draft night you talked about it too, and I think going into this year's draft, a lot of people were skeptical because they didn't know if you had box lacrosse, background and the experience there. But you talked about how you've played with Joey Spallina, and you've played, and gotten your feet wet with the box game. What are some things that you're excited about, to improve on your game and utilizing box lacrosse to make you that much better of an all-around player?
Yeah, growing up, it was always just a fun game to watch, and I always wanted to play in this league specifically because of the speed, the pace of the game. It's a little different than field, closer quarters, and you got to have quicker hands, and there's a lot of different things that go into it. But I'm looking forward to just learn from the vets and take all I can get from them, because from an outsider watching, you don't really know the ins and outs of everything. So I'm looking forward to see what type of knowledge they have and what they can give me to make me a better player. So hopefully it translates well, and I can learn a lot from it.
Looking at this roster, just littered with talent on the offensive side of the ball, from Mitch Jones and obviously Blaze Reardon as well, who you're pretty familiar with. What are you most excited about playing in this offense with such a talented group of guys, and just bringing your skill sets to that to make this group that much better?
Yeah, just looking forward to building chemistry with them, getting to know them as people too. Like I said before, want to build chemistry on and off the field. But it's just really, it's going to be cool to get to know new people. That's what this sport has brought so many relationships to me. So I'm looking forward to building chemistry with these guys, and then learning from them and helping out in any way I can to win games. That's all it is.
You're no stranger to playing in Philadelphia either, obviously, from your Final Four experiences at Duke and everything. Playing, across the street at Lincoln Financial Field for Duke and being in that environment, what excites you about playing in a city like Philadelphia?
Yeah, I'm definitely familiar with this area. I think just all in all, the passion that these fans bring, they're all in. So it's really cool to see that. Not every city or state has that for their team. So it's, for them to be that passionate, it makes me want to play that much harder for them and win games for them. So it really just goes both ways. The passion that they show allows me to reciprocate it. So
going back to the number 34, for people that may not be familiar, what's the significance for your jersey number selection and wearing number 34?
Yeah, 34 has just been my number all my life. From the moment I stepped on, I played football originally. That was my first sport, but from the moment I stepped on a sports field, I was 34. There's so many greats in the football game, like Urlacher, you got Bo Jackson, or you got Walter Payton, you got all these guys who wore 34. So it was just a cool number to me, and I got it and stuck with it. So it's been my number my whole life through college, and so I'm glad to have it back and be able to rep it.
When you go into an environment like the Philadelphia Wings, going into this season where, last season wasn't exactly the results that they wanted, but they're still loaded with talent, and then they're able to add you as the number 1 overall pick. What has kind of just been, talking with the guys and talking with the coach, the expectation going into this season and knowing what you guys are capable of and seeing the talent on paper and knowing the results just have to be there?
Yeah, for sure. So I think at the end of the day, you have to take it one day, one practice, one game at a time. You can't win a championship or a playoff game on day one. So I think a lot of it's just obviously, rosters speak volumes. A lot of teams can look good on paper, but you got to put it all together, and we know that. So that's just the goal going forward, is to make steps each day, and each game get better from the last, and just learn from your experiences.
How much of a benefit for you is it that you're not the only newcomer on this team? Obviously, Panther City had the dispersal draft, unfortunately, this offseason, and there's a bunch of new guys also coming into this team. What's that like, going into a new team environment as a draft pick, but also having veterans come in and it's their first experience with a new franchise as well?
Yeah, it'll definitely be cool, and it puts me at ease a little bit, because there's going to be other guys too that have the same questions that I do, or trying to learn the same things. Learn the system and just how everything works. So there's a learning curve to all this, obviously, in a new place. So I think having other people along with me in that, and then having also vets who do know the way and can help you get through these new challenges that face us, will be really cool, and I think it'll bring us closer together. So.
And with Coach Rubel, he's been here obviously as a coordinator, but now as a head coach, kind of you being the first draft pick going in with him, and you guys are kind of going in this journey together. What are you most looking forward to of learning that alongside, a first-time head coach?
Yeah, I think it's cool because, I came in the same time as him now, so it'll be, similar thing, just trying to learn, what he likes, what he doesn't like, have, educated conversations about what we think going forward is best for the team and stuff like that. I think all that's really cool, and I'm looking forward to playing for him. So,
how valuable is somebody like a Blaze Reardon who, has all the field experience from college to the pros and has come into the NLL game and has really made a mark and has become a premier player in this league? How much, do you feel like you can lean on him and have that confidence to go to Blaze and talk to him as a captain on this team and kind of learn the ropes from him as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, I've played with him before, so I have that relationship already established, and I think that already just helps, and it's going to really benefit for me. But yeah, he has so much knowledge to give. Not only that, he's just a good person and a good leader. So I think you add all those things together, and it makes a great captain of the team. And he's just been great to me along the way. And I know that he's made the transition from field to box, so he has a lot of pointers and things to learn and to give me. So it's going to be really cool learning from him, and I'm really excited for it.
When you come into an environment too, and you have guys that you're familiar with, like Blaze, and Dalton Young is on this training camp roster who you know from the summer as well. How much does that also put you at ease, knowing there's some guys that you have playing experience with, maybe not in the box game, but just overall kind of knowing how they operate and how their game works, and to kind of have that familiarity factor as well going into a new environment for you?
Yeah, having relationships with a bunch of guys already helps on and off the field, because the more comfortable you are off the field, it's going to translate into your game too. Not only that, you also know his tendencies, what he likes to do, different stuff like that can really help a team make steps. And a guy like Dalton, I spent the summer with, he's a great guy, and it's going to be really nice to play with him again and be able to play with him year round. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, it'll just help also the transition with team chemistry, relationships, and just knowing people already makes it easy.
What are you most looking forward to? Just, being able to go around Philadelphia and kind of get more acclimated with the city and kind of, just immerse yourself in a new city and a new fandom and just, making this home.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a very home feeling. I'm familiar with, the city life and just the atmosphere of it, and I want to explore definitely a lot more. Maybe get a cheesesteak here and there. It's got to do that. I was talking to someone, and we were talking about what's the best spot to go to, and everyone has different opinions. So I think I'm gonna have to eat healthy throughout the week, and then earn my cheesesteak each week and try a different spot after a game, after I burn the calories, and just explore different food options and see what the city's all about.
See, there we go, the Brennan O'Neill cheesesteak tour coming
Yeah,
to you soon. What are you most excited about playing in front of these fans and running out onto that floor here at the Wells Fargo Center and kind of just feeling that pop for the first time, your name getting announced, the pomp and circumstance that comes with, a game day in the NLL. You grew up watching the league. What are you most excited about running out on that floor in front of these fans?
Yeah, just the music, the noise, just the cheers that they bring, all that just helps, and it brings that adrenaline each game. So I'm looking forward to that, just because I grew up watching box, and I've been to Wings games, and I've been that kid in the stands. So I try to put myself back to that moment that I was watching these games, and I could think of other kids that have the same aspirations, and so hopefully I can inspire some people and just play the game and be entertaining.
And for anybody that's new to the sport or may not know, Brennan O'Neill's style of lacrosse, what are the tips and pointers you're going to give to everybody at home watching to expect from your game and what you bring to the table?
Yeah, I think I try to add a little bit of everything to my game. If I'm lacking in something, I try to get better at it. So whether that's get stronger, I like to think I'm a strong player with speed and good footwork. So, and then adding creativity to that and just good stick skills are things I work on all the time. And I think if you have those three things, you have speed, stick skills, and then you're stronger, and you keep lifting weights and doing all the right things. That's probably my biggest pointer, and something that I still do to this day.
Brennan, I think the fans are going to love you here. I think you're going to love playing here. I think your style of play fits Philadelphia to a T. We're stoked to have you, and best of luck this season, man.
Yep, thanks for having me.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Big thank you to the Philadelphia Wings and Brennan O'Neill for hopping on the show and allowing Brennan to be on the show from Media Day. It was an awesome experience. We have so much stuff coming this year with the Wings that I'm super excited about with you guys, and it's going to be an awesome experience all season long with them. Season opener is how far away? December 14th. We are a mere 5.5 weeks away. 6 weeks. 5.5 weeks away from the Wings home opener against the Las Vegas Desert Dogs at the Wells Fargo Center. I'm excited for that one. Brennan O'Neill is going to be an amazing Philadelphia athlete, and I'm super excited to keep introducing him to you and getting him in your lexicon, because he is somebody we can all get behind as a superstar to be in this city. Last bit here. It is brought to you by our awesome pals over at Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. From sunglasses to blue light glasses to those prescription lenses, and right around the corner is ski season, guys. To get your snow goggles, Tomahawk Shades has you covered with the best affordable eyewear. That is a quality product for a fraction of the price of the big eyewear companies. I'm wearing my Tomahawk shades all the time when I'm outside, traveling, driving, keeping my eyes protected from the sun. When I'm inside editing, watching my favorite Philly sports teams on TV, I'm wearing my blue light glasses to keep my eyes protected from those blue lights coming out of my screens. And if you need prescription lenses, they got you covered as well. Tomahawk shades, owned by two brothers on Long Island, and some of the best athletes in the game as well. Owners of the company, Chris Hogan, Kyle Harrison, John Jay, Daniel Descalzo. Tomahawk shades, they're the best in the game. Click our link in the description or go to tomahawkshades.com and use code USP at checkout to get 25% off your next order at tomahawkshades.com or in the Tomahawk Shades app. That's code USP at tomahawkshades.com or in the Tomahawk Shades app to get 25% off your next order. The Rawlings Gold Glove Awards have been announced, and the Philadelphia Phillies got snubbed out the wazoo. We'll start with the American League. Your American League Gold Glovers: catcher Cal Raleigh, Carlos Santana, former Phil, is your first base winner. Andres Jimenez, your second base winner. Alex Bregman wins at third base. Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop. Stephen Kwan at left field. Dalton Varsho in center field. Wilyer Abreu in right field for the Red Sox. Dylan Moore as your utility. And Seth Lugo, your pitcher. And then we move to the National League. Patrick Bailey wins at catcher for the San Francisco Giants. Christian Walker wins at first base. Bryce Harper snubbed. Bryce Terang wins at second base. Bryson Stott snubbed. Matt Chapman wins at third base. Ezekiel Tovar wins at shortstop. Ian Happ wins in left field. Brandon Marsh snubbed. Brenton Doyle wins in center field. Sal Frelick wins in right field. Nick Castellanos, I don't know if he was nominated, but snubbed. Jared Triolo is your utility winner, and Chris Sale wins at pitcher. Zack Wheeler snubbed. Insane that Zack Wheeler, Bryce Harper, Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, at least one of them did not win a Gold Glove. It's crazy when you look at this that nobody from the Dodgers, the Mets, the Phillies, the Padres, like your top four teams essentially in the National League, none of them won a Gold Glove. The fact that Zack Wheeler didn't win a Gold Glove is preposterous. Bryson Stott not winning at second base is blasphemous. I don't know. Rawlings, I'd love to have somebody on to explain this because y'all got some explaining to do. Y'all snubbed a bunch of people that were more than worthy and gave them to some people that have some questionable accolades, in my opinion. Maybe that's biased, but who knows? I think Zack Wheeler should have won the Gold Glove pitcher. That's crazy that he didn't win it, but hopefully that just means he's going to win the Cy Young. It's a Victory Monday episode, everybody. Leave me a voicemail. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. I want to hear from you guys. We'll play the voicemails when they come through on the shows. Awesome episode. A lot of fun. The Birds win. Marcus Hayes fucking sucks. Brennan O'Neill is a dog. And Phil's got snubbed in the Gold Glove. What are you going to do? Make sure you guys are following us on the socials. Welcome to all of our new followers. I hope you're giving the podcast a listen and giving it a go. Welcome aboard. We'd love to have you as longtime listeners. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. Follow us on all the socials at Underground PHI. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, the whole 9 yards. We are on everything. Just search Underground Sports Philadelphia. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11. on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod, I beg of thee. Please, 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 as Sabrina Carpenter once said, subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping us continue to build this community. Let's just do more dope stuff with and for you guys. We have a lot planned for 2025 we want to accomplish, and it all starts when you subscribe to the pod. So subscribe, and subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, trying to get there before the end of 2024. We're at 866. We need 134 more of you to subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section, your thoughts on everything I discussed on today's episode. And, of course, click that bell icon so you know when new videos go live. Ring the bell, baby. And, of course, this show is presented by the City of Vineland. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and to provide their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 687, a Victory Monday episode of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. Next episode, it's me. It's Harry the K. It's Wednesdays with Harry the K on Underground Sports Philadelphia. Myself, Harrison Kremets, on Wednesday, breaking down everything you need to know in the world of Philly sports culture, and the whole 9 yards. I'm your boy KB. Till next time, shout out to M-Lot. I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Peace.